What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Patrick here, and in this video we're going to do an example here. So the test marks in percentages for a class are given below right here, and we have to create a Box-Whisker plot for the data. Now, to create a Box-Whisker plot, what we're going to need is the quartiles. We're also going to need the smallest and largest observations of the data. And in order to get the quartiles, we're going to have to find a bunch of medians. And to find the median of data, what we're going to have to do is arrange it from smallest to largest. So after we arrange the data in ascending order, this is how it's going to look. So notice that if we count the number of observations, there's going to be 11 of them. And so we're dealing with an odd number of observations. And so the median of this data here, it's going to be, remember what the formula is, n plus 1 divided by 2 in that position. So 11 plus 1 divided by 2, which would give us 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That right there is the median. That's the middle of the data. So that there is going to be our second quartile. Then what we got to do is we got to look at this first half of the data, excluding the median. So we just circle this half here, and then we got to look at this half. And notice that each of these halves here, they have 5 observations. So this case is an odd number of observations in total with odd halves, because it's 5 and 5. 5 is an odd number. So now what we got to do to find the first quartile is we got to find the median of this data. And because it's an odd number of observations in this data here, it's just going to be that number. It's going to be that middle number. It's going to be a single value. So that's going to be the first quartile. And then same thing here, the middle number is going to be this 88. So that's going to be the third quartile. All right, so those are the quartiles. Now, they didn't really ask for it, but we can also find the interquartile range, which is the difference between the third quartile and the first quartile. And that's going to be equal to what? 88 minus 61, which is 27. So that's going to be the interquartile range right there. And for the Box-Whisker plot, we also need the smallest observation, which is the 42. And we also need the largest observation, which is going to be the 95. And sometimes notice how there are 5 items that we calculated, excluding the interquartile range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 items that we need for a Box-Whisker plot. Sometimes you'll see that called a 5-number summary of data. But yeah, it's because we need those 5 values to create a Box-Whisker plot. So the first step to creating a Box-Whisker plot, I wrote out the 5 values there, is you want to create a scale. So notice it's going from 42 to 95, so I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to go up by 10s all the way to 100. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So notice that this scale represents the percentage or the marks of the test in percentage. And now what we do is we just plot these values here on this scale. So 42 would be like over here. 61 would be like there. 75 would be in the middle. Then we'll have 88, which would be like over here. And then we'll have 95, which would be in the middle there. And remember, for the first quartile, the second quartile, and then the third quartile, we're creating these lines here. Create a box. And then we have the whiskers that extend out to the largest value and then to the smallest value. So that original data we had with that 5-number summary, that is how the Box-Whisker plot is going to look. And you can also show it vertically, so where that scale is going to be vertical on the y-axis here, and then you got this Box-Whisker plot that was kind of rotated from the horizontal one. A lot of times you'll see multiple Box-Whisker plots as well. So notice we were just looking at one class, but let's say that was like section 1 of a course. Well, maybe we'll have another Box-Whisker plot for section 2. And then we could kind of compare the data and see how the Box-Whisker plots differ. So just want to mention that sometimes you'll see multiple Box-Whisker plots. But whichever way you do it, horizontal or vertical, this is how it should look.